You're listening to the Story By podcast. This show features short fiction with two things in common. First, I wanted to share them. Second, the rights to option or produce them for other media are available. My name is Lewayne L. White. I'll be the host and narrator. Hi, welcome back to the Story By podcast. Thanks for stopping by. It is December. That means a lot of people are running around doing things for their holidays, spending money, traveling. A lot of people view the impending end of the year as a fresh start, a new beginning. For others, it's just a reminder that time has passed, which leaves some evaluating their accomplishments, and others mourning all the things they didn't do. Then there are those for whom it's just a period of chaos that they just can't wait to get through. With that in mind, December's stories are going to swing as wildly as moods around the holidays. Some will be happy, some will be sad, at least a few will, spoiler, feature the end of the world. I mean, we have to finish out the year with a bang. Well, actually we're going to start off December stories with a bang. Today's episode will contain 3 very short stories, and I'm going to do something a little different. These will actually be readings of short screenplay scripts. While these are adaptable as prose, I kind of like their short, sharp visual nature, and I kind of wanted to preserve it. Each of the scripts was written for submission for the Impact 50 project. The idea of the project was to create 50 very short films focused on a single theme and collect them as a sort of anthology. The organizers had done this previously with 50 Kisses, a film that featured, as the name implies, 50 kisses. The Impact 50 project featured 50 stories of people on the last day, before a meteor strike destroys humanity on April 21st. There was a specific timeline provided from discovery of the impending death rock through the final vaporization of humanity, including the seismic and oceanographic effects at various stages based on location. At least one of these scripts made it to the finalist stages, but none made it to selection for the final project, which I believe is in the production phase right now. I'll include links to the Create 50 projects in the show notes if I can find them. I know their whole site underwent an upgrade and transition recently. I'll talk more about the individual stories after the show for those of you who want to stick around for that. For now, let's get on with the end of the world. Cheated. Exterior, middle-class home. Lou, male, 30s, khakis, dress shirt, locks front door. He turns, finds masked figure in work jumpsuit blocks his path. A bolt of electricity from a stun gun, and darkness. Scattered fragmented images of 6-year-old shattered and bloody headlight, woman's bloody hands at accident scene, broken booze bottle, little girl's bloody shoe lying empty on the pavement, lying empty on the pavement, lying empty on the pavement. Sounds of water splashing. Darkness grows to light like eyes opening, to POV of interior, cellar, stone walls, bare bulb light, and jumping shadows. An 20s woman wears jumpsuit, fatigue, and the sunken face of grief. She steps back, sets the bucket on the floor.
Wake up! Time to start your sentence!
She addresses Lou, who now sits, naked and gagged, chained to a chair. A table stands beside him with an array of toothed, bladed, and spiked implements. A calendar hangs on the wall. April 21st, circled in red. Anne grabs Lou's dripping hair, gets right in his face.
You have to suffer as many days as Julie suffered before you die.
Lou's eyes dart toward calendar. April 30 bears a giant red X. Anne releases his head, and he follows her movements as she reviews her tools.
So where should we start, Louis?
Anne grabs scissors with serrated blades, runs the point softly along his jaw, nicks his ear. He flinches.
Oops, best leave those so you can hear me curse you, you bastard.
She slides the point down his body to his crotch.
Something you won't need anymore? Well, I guess you won't need anything once I'm done.
She points the scissors at his face.
Nose? Eyes? What can I take you'd miss as much as I miss my daughter?
There goes his nose. Lou shrieks around the gag.
Probably easier to breathe from one big hole anyway, right, Lou?
Anne's cell phone rings. It rings again. She sighs, kicks Lou.
Shut up!
A few breaths, and she's ready.
Hi, Mom. Just working on a new project. Why? The news? Why?
A long pause as Anne listens, then drops the phone, though her mother's still talking. Anne grabs a huge knife.
No!
Anne stabs Lou in the chest. He screams. Another stab. She grabs more items. Slashes, rips. Lou shrieks and cries.
No!
Stab.
No!
Slash.
No!
Rip.
I'm not done!
Slice.
I need more time!
The fury of her attacks knocks Lou in his chair over. Anne falls onto them, stabbing, slicing, ripping, tearing.
You can't get away this easy! You can't! You can't!
Lou's eyes begin to close as life leaves him. Anne shrieks at him, furious, enraged, cheated of her full revenge. Serve and protect. Exterior city, day. Wind blows newspaper scraps through a brick alley cluttered with overflowing garbage cans. Deshawn, late teens, African American, wearing basketball shorts, shoes, t-shirt, rounds corner, sprints down alley. Jax, Vince, Leon, 20s, skinheads in combat boots, jeans, leather jackets, chase Deshawn. The trio carry tire irons and bats. Jax, why you running, nigga? We all gonna die today. Deshawn looks back, stumbles, crashes into Officer Steve Ryan, 30s, Caucasian, shaved head. Ryan wears SWAT armor, Colt Commando on a sling, and a pistol. He holds a truncheon. Deshawn, please don't. Ryan pushes Deshawn behind him. Jax, Vince, and Leon screech to a halt, spread out in an arc. Jax, that's ours, but if you want to take a swing or two at him, that's cool. Ryan, y'all ain't got somewhere better to be. Vince,
ain't you heard? World's ending. Laws don't matter.
Ryan, they do here. Drop your weapons. The trio laughs, step closer.
Ryan, last chance, fellas.
Leon, what you gonna do if I do this? Leon steps forward again. Ryan whips the truncheon out, disarms Leon, strikes him again, and drops him. Vince moves on Ryan, gets the same treatment. Jax, we was even gonna let you hit him. Jax grabs for the gun in his waistband. Ryan drops the truncheon, draws pistol, fires twice. Jax crashes to the ground, gunshot to the head. Ryan, to Deshawn. Son, you got somewhere to wait it out? Deshawn, I was headed to my mom's. Ryan, good man. You ready? Deshawn nods. Ryan, rifle up, escorts Deshawn out of the alley, across the street, to the door of a walk-up apartment building. Deshawn, she's just up a flight. I'm good. Ryan lowers his rifle, surveys the area. Ryan, you sure? Deshawn, yes, sir. You got somewhere to wait it out? A woman screams from down the street. Ryan brings his rifle up, heads off to save the woman. Deshawn watches him go. Deshawn, I guess you do. Final boss. Interior, bedroom. Basement room of Jimmy Fields, early 20s guy in basketball shorts and t-shirt, who sits in a gaming chair, clicks away with game controller in front of a large TV. A laptop with a countdown clock sits nearby. The only illumination comes from TV and laptop. The door above creaks open. Dex, early 20s male in board shorts, t-shirt, flip-flops, thunders down the stairs. Dex, dude, you hear about the asteroid? Dex flops onto bed, stares in awe at TV. Dex, is that Castle Warwolf? Holy shit! Cybernazi just pulverized you! Jimmy restarts the level on a first-person shooter that combines World War II action and sci-fi horror weapons and monsters. Dex, dude, asteroid? End of the world? Jimmy, busy. Dex, Don't you want to get high, get laid, fuck shit up? Jimmy: then I'd be playing GTA. Couple hours left to beat this damn game. Dex: what about Amy? Now's your chance. Jimmy: world's fucked, so now I'm hot? Dex: rules are pretty much out the window. She don't have to say yes. Jimmy: dude, really? Dex: fine, you can stay here playing with yourself. I'm gonna get me some clam. Jimmy: chode. Dex: douche. Beat as Dex touches Jimmy's shoulder. Kick his ass, man. Dex thunders back upstairs. Begin montage, intermingling 1. Gameplay footage as Jimmy struggles to advance. 2. Jimmy's growing desperation. Sweat, strain, swigs from beer. And 3. The countdown clock. End montage on gameplay action. Jimmy dies again. Jimmy sees the countdown approach the final minutes. He drains his last beer, hunkers down, restarts the boss level. Jimmy's character locks, loads, rattles off a one-liner, proceeds to spray his way down a castle hallway, blasting cyber werewolves, zombie Nazis, and flame-tossing witches. The countdown clock clicks down as game sound effects roar in the background. Then the cackle that signals the final boss, a Nazi scientist in power armor, bristling with guns. Jimmy: this is it, Herr Verrückte. You, me, end of the world. Jimmy opens fire on the final boss. The characters do a deadly dance as the game environment ignites around them. The countdown clock runs to the final moments as Jimmy watches the final boss collapse, defeated. Jimmy: yes! He jumps up, does a happy dance. Countdown clock reaches 0. A moment later, the first rumble from the Atlantic Ocean impact. On screen, a grenade rolls away from the final boss, and Jimmy sees the final boss smile. The grenade flares, then Jimmy's room power winks out. Hey, how'd you like the end of the world? The reason that there are 3 of these stories is that one of the unique elements of the Create 50 project was that you could submit as many stories as you wanted before the deadline. Each of them would be rated and reviewed by other Create 50 writers, and you could submit revisions until the final deadline. Like any sort of workshop approach, you have to pick and choose which feedback is useful, and it turned out that I was lucky enough to be involved with a lot of talented writers on this project. Hey Dot, hey KT. Cheated was actually the last of the 3 I wrote. There was a day or 2 left before deadline, and I wondered if I had one more story left in me. And it turned out I did. Some readers of early drafts wondered if Anne had decided to do what she did because the world was ending. So I tried to make it clear in the 2 pages I had that she had finally gotten herself to the point that she would act against the man who had killed her daughter in a car accident, only to find out that she had run out of time. I don't know that I fixed it enough, and of the 3 it feels the most like the one I should revise if I ever decide to shoot it. Serve and Protect was the first Impact 50 story I wrote, and it doesn't take a lot to figure out where it came from. My dad's been in uniform most of my life, and most of that in law enforcement. Lots of my stories feature cops, and this seemed a natural fit. I figured there were some cops who were going to keep the peace until the very end of the world. At least I hoped so. Final Boss was inspired by one of my favorite video game series, Wolfenstein, particularly the last several iterations. I was working my way to the end of one of them when I was writing for Create 50, so it also seemed natural to think there were going to be gamers who were going to finish their last damn game before the end of the world. In some ways, it feels the most fun, if end-of-the-world stories are fun. But I'm going to need somebody to do some awesome fake video game footage for me for this to really work. Anyway, enough behind-the-scenes stuff. This probably ran longer than the stories themselves. So, I'll wrap it up by saying that if you have enjoyed the podcast, I'd love to get ratings on iTunes, feedback on YouTube, or comments on Twitter, Facebook, or the blog. Just so I know I'm not out here talking to myself. And, as always, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it.